What's up, everybody? It's your girl T from Adventures of Spirits, and welcome to Spirit Scrutiny, where for the next few weeks we will be going through a wine series. So, for the last few weeks, and this is actually the end of this series, we were reviewing the white wines of the spectrum. Okay, so today we will be reviewing Prosecco. Now, you've all heard me use Prosecco, and I'm sure all of you have heard of Prosecco. I also know it as the budget version of champagne or champagne, however the French want to say it. But actually, Prosecco to me is a happy medium between champagne and Prosecco. But today, we're gonna review the Prosecco, but we all are going to talk about the actual differences between Prosecco and Champagne and just why they're different. And you'd be surprised, it's something very small on how they're very different, but that is the reason why you get different tastes and you get a lot of variations of Champagne that you may or may not get within the Prosecco. Okay? All right, so let's get into it with the Prosecco. So, I had to give you all your notes, right? All right. So, Prosecco versus Champagne, but please note that they both use the same grape, which is called Glera. Okay. The Glera grape originates in the Northeast Italy region. Okay. They range, your Proseccos and your Champagnes can range anywhere from dry to semi sweet. Notice I didn't say sweet. You're not going to get a sweet Prosecco nor a sweet Champagne, but you will get dry to a semi-sweet. Okay. But I can tell you the only thing that really differs Prosecco from Champagne, in addition to the price, okay, there's different price points, and I can tell you, I would say the highest Prosecco I've seen have been maybe $60, somewhere around there. But a Champagne, I've seen hundreds to in the thousands of dollars for Champagne. Okay. And that is mainly because of the process that the actual champagne goes through. And so, therefore, don't forget the price sometimes is either about branding, meaning the name, you're paying for the brand, or you're paying for the fact that maybe it just wasn't mass produced. And so, there's just a limited number of bottles out there. So, of course, supply and demand, they're going to charge you more. Okay. But just to let you know, what differs Prosecco from Champagne is how the bubbles are made. Okay. So with Champagne, they use a traditional method, which is basically, you harvest the grapes, you ferment and everything. But what happens is once they bottle it, then they add after it's fermented, then they add the yeast and the sugar. They bottle it and they put the top on. So therefore, that's why it's always better to get champagne that's been aged for a long time, because that's when you're going to get the full effect of the bubbles. So usually the older it is, the more bubbles it's supposed to have. But if it's too old, that's a whole different story. I'll actually leave a link in the description. Bon Appetit, they actually, the sommelier on that channel, he actually did a full line of like a newer champagne to a very old vintage champagne, just to see what the differences were. I thought it was very intriguing. But I will leave that link in the description, my description box below, and you can go there and it'll talk you through, the ages of, like how old do you really need your champagne, and how, like, is it really worth it type thing, from the taste to the bubbles to everything. He just does a wonderful job of breaking everything down. But basically, that's how the bubbles come to play, is it actually does that in your bottle. Okay. Whereas Prosecco, what they do is they use the Italian method. Okay. The Italian method is basically they add all the sugar and everything after the fact, and then they put it in the bottle. So basically, is pretty much in there already before it goes in. So basically what you get is what you get. It's not something that needs to age over time. The Italian method, of course, is cheaper, is faster, less labor intensive than the traditional method. So, of course, it's going to cost less than your champagne. And the Proseccos and Champagnes, as I stated before in many of my videos alive, it goes well with everything. You can drink this with all your fruits, foods, and desserts. Okay. Of course, everybody loves it as the brunch. It is, the brunch drink of the world. So let's get into this particular bottle. So previously, I tasted and reviewed the Moscato version from this particular vineyard. This one now is the Prosecco version. Now, I drink the La Marca. And the La Marca, I do have some La Marca in there. I also drink the Ruffino Prosecco. And so, but I don't really buy this one that much. And I just don't remember tasting this or not. And so I may have tasted it at some point because I figured one of these blue bottles or two I've tasted because they actually make multiple different ones. They have Moscato, they have Prosecco, they have Pinot Grigio. And so I know for a fact I've definitely drank the Pinot Grigio, and I did try the Moscato, and I tried it again in the last video, but I just don't remember what this Prosecco tastes like. So I'm going to taste it again here with you. Okay. So this one again is from the Gamma di Luna vineyard, and it is from Piemonte, Italy. And the price range for this bottle is $23. Okay. So as we see, this is carbonated, of course. It's Prosecco. So as we open it up, you always want to keep your thumb or your finger on the actual bottle so it doesn't hurt yourself or anyone else. And while you keep your thumb on there is when you want to unravel and hold on to the cork at all times. And then we're just going to hold, sort of like when you twist in a jar, you want to hold it, or like you're holding something else. And you twist the bottle slowly. And you hold on to the cork. And there you go. Nice, easy pop. I know there's some people who are very scared at doing all of that. So we're going to pour some to taste. And Prosecco, it varies. I've tasted some good Proseccos. I've tasted some okay Proseccos, and I've tasted some Proseccos where I didn't care how much I paid for it. I just threw it in the toilet after I tasted it because it just was, to me, just did not taste well. So I'm hoping that this is one that I will be keeping because I did spend $23 for it. So let's go ahead and see what this Prosecco, what it looks like. So this one looks clear. And like I said before, you can twirl it in the glass to see what the body is. And my assumption is that the body of this is probably going to be consistent with the Moscato and like other carbonated wine, excuse me. But let me go ahead and smell this. Okay, so this one, I'm not smelling much sugar. Okay, this one is a little more light in terms of the nose. So with this, it definitely gives me bubbles up my nose. So I do smell grapefruit, pineapple, a little apple, but more like the green apple. It is citrusy, like a lemon and orange mixed together. That's pretty much what I smell. But I'm gonna taste it to see if it gives me a different type of smell. Hold on. I'm not tasting anything that I smelled except for the citrus. It is very citrus forward. The mouthfeel is smooth, velvety. Some tells me, let me check this alcohol content on here. Okay, so this one is 10.5% alcohol. So the alcohol rating on this is about 3.5 more than, no, actually three, because the last one was I think 7.5, the Moscato was. So this one is about 3% higher, and that might be why I'm not getting as much aroma or smell. I don't know, but um the taste of this is not very. This one's dry. This one's dry. There's no semi-sweet to this at all. This one is dry. And the flavor, as I stated, is very short. And because it doesn't give you a taste of any of the flavors like I was smelling, it's very short. And it goes away very quickly. And the aftertaste is like dry alcohol. That's basically what it tastes like. Try it one more time. I got nothing. Sorry, Prosecco. Won't be buying you anymore. And this one's dry. Now, if you like dry, knock yourself out. If you like brut, knock yourself out with this one. This Prosecco here, but it definitely is not for me. Definitely not for someone, when I drink champagne or whatever, it just can't be too dry, unless you're putting something in it. And usually some people may put maybe some strawberries in there to sort of give it some other type of flavor. I can probably use this in a spritz, like when you're mixing it with a liqueur or something. I would definitely use that for this. And as a matter of fact, I might need to use this for my upcoming Tuesday libations, because we're going to be making spritzers on. We're going to be making no. We won't be making spritzers. I'm sorry, that's another Tuesday. Sorry, I'm getting my Tuesdays mixed up. But I will be saving this to make with the spritzers. So, sorry, Gemma de Luna, I don't like this Prosecco. It's a little too dry for me. Didn't say it was nasty. It just was too dry for me. So, excuse me. But it does have a lot of bubbles. But I'm sorry, the flavor palette just didn't do it for me at all. So sorry. I did like your other one, Gemma de Luna. I did like the Moscato one. But I also will buy the Pinot Grigio because I don't remember. I know I tasted it, but I don't remember if I liked it or not. So I'll probably buy that and try that again. So hopefully you enjoyed this review, and hopefully you enjoyed this white wine series. So my white wine series has ended. And next week on Spirit Scrutiny, I will be featuring a few wines for those individuals who say, I don't like red wine. It's too dry. It's nasty. It tastes bad. I just like sweet. I just like white wine. I just like, I'm going to introduce you to some, I call them transition grapes. And the reason I say that is because I have transitioned quite a few people who used to say the same thing. They don't like red. They don't like red. Oh, red is so nasty. It doesn't matter. It's too dry. The tannins. But there are some great. Now, what I found out is wine is an acquired taste, especially red wine. So your palate either becomes accustomed to it or it just doesn't. And I'm not saying that everybody is going to like red wine. I'm just saying that if you try these I call them transition grapes. If you continue to drink those transition grapes, because those transition grapes, they do not have the strong palate that you would experience of a full red wine. But what they do is it's much more milder, where it sort of reminds you of okay, this is like the end of a white wine spectrum or something. So just want to let you know that they do work. And you do have to just sort of try a variety of them and just try them, taste them periodically over. And you'd be surprised. You'll start to say, oh, well, let me try this red one. Oh, that one actually tastes good. That one. And before you know it, you're drinking red wine. Okay. So I'm glad, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button. And please subscribe if you would like to continue this series or join me in my other ventures within Adventures of Spirits. I actually am doing a YouTube journey series with other YouTube channel creators, and those interviews occur on the second and fourth Monday of the month. Every Tuesday second, fourth Monday of the month at 8 p.m. Some of them will be featured on Tuesdays if they're making cocktails with me. Every Tuesday is Tuesday Libations at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where my husband and I, Pretty Timmy, make cocktails, or we either create or recreate cocktails that we've either tasted or heard of, and share our experiences to review it with the world. And then, as stated, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Spirit Scrutiny, reviewing spirits, wines, and liquors the same. So, thank you everybody for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the white wine series. Now it's time to venture into the red wine spectrum. See you next time. Let's have a toast for the